Okay, we are geared up. Base station number 3. We're getting some momentum here. We've got we got a guest today, which is cool. So we'll start it right on time. Let's let everyone roll in, and hopefully we'll have Ethan here with Send. We see some of the Send friends coming in. What's up, everybody? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me all right. The mic's working well. Nice. All right. Let's get you in here. Co-host for Send. And Daffy, our guest. Let's see, did it work? All right, give us a shout. Give us a mic check, everybody. Can you guys see, hear, and speak well?
Yeah, mic check, 1 2 1 2, send 2, send 2, send 3 4.
Nice. Are you flying those drones, sending from the air?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sending from the air.
Nice.
I'm in New Jersey, and we're currently looking for nuclear warheads.
Nice. Well, I mean, if you've got the send tag, you know you're already ahead of the game with your send codes. Oh, wild, man. All right, Daffy, you guys here? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, kind of loud and clear. Sound check.
Nice.
1 2.
Very good. All right, we're ready to roll. Cool. So it's a great week to be building on base, isn't it? How's everyone feeling about things? Bitcoin's new all-time high again. Good stuff.
Yeah, what did Peter recently say? That for the first time, I gotta look it up. Can we turn that off? That
You're talking to Peter Thiel? Oh, Peter.
Yeah, no. Peter Schroeder from he's from Circle. He does marketing for Schroeder. He's talking about base, and the inflows have currently, they've had 7 days of consecutive or something like that. 7 days of inflows where they're kind of just beating everybody else or something. Just all the inflows right now are going to base and a little bit to Solana, and the outflows are going from Ethereum and Arbitrum and the other ecosystems.
Yeah, those metrics are just getting wild. I mean, base is obviously where a lot of retail are coming in, man. This is the place to be, the place to build for an ecosystem that's thriving. And we all know, right? Keep an eye on that Coinbase app rank on the Apple Store and Android Play Store. When that's ranking number 1 for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we're getting close to some form of a top, maybe, right? When it's that popular.
I saw a better indicator for the top, actually. And it was that someone basically got all the data from Telegram trading chats, and or even on X, and they say the top is in. And when you start seeing that, then you know the actual top is in.
But hey, you know, we're here building some apps with real use case, with users who can use it every day. So, you know, hopefully, even if that happens, we're still building the users and building the communities, right? So it's always cool to talk about that because everyone listening can use all these apps that we're representing right now, and it's going to give them some edge in life, right? Every day.
We're here for a long time and a good time.
Yeah, that's right, man. So, hey, before we head over to our guests and have you introduce yourself and tell everyone about what you're building, maybe a little update from Mask and Send. I mean, you want to go first, Ethan? You got some stuff cooking over at Send?
Yeah, we always got some stuff cooking. We just raised the minimum amount to qualify for December activity rewards. We raised it from 300,000 to 400,000. Price is down about 20% in the past 30 days. So it's actually the same price in the USD. So you're looking about $30 in order to qualify, 30 USD, or as we say, 30 USDC. And we also increased the reward amount. So we were going to increase it from 400 million. Well, we increased from November rewards or from September and October. We increased from September and October was 300 million. And then November we did 400 million. So we're going to be doing, for December, we're going to do 500 million. We were going to go to 600 or 700 million, but we decided to stop that just because that's too much. But we're going to continue to play with the figures, because sometimes what people do is they're getting their send. They're getting, they have 350, 400,000 send. They get a 1.5, 1.3 million send reward, and then they cash out all of it thinking that they only need 300,000. So typically what we want them to do is when they get their reward, they have to send out 1/3. Because that's how you get to the same amount of rewards the next round. So you have to sell. So you have to sell 1/3. We want them to hold 1/3, and then we want them to sell 1/3 if they choose. But we don't want them selling, 80% of it or 75% of it, and then sending out the rest. So that's what we got. What else do we got? Send News. We got a new account happening with Send News. Shout out to Send News happening. What else are we doing? We got a new decimal coming out, or a new token coming out, 6 decimals. We're going to be moving from Uniswap to Aerodrome. We're doing that. We're going to be adding notes to sends. We're currently working on that now. We're working on the new send views. So when you're sending, it's going to be different. And we're going to be adding notes to send. That should be out by the end of the year in the next 2 weeks. And that's pretty much the gist of it.
That's awesome, man. Got to make that app sticky, right? You want people to stay in there and live in there and use it all the time.
Sticky.
User stickiness,
Sticky.
brother. That's great. Sticky icky. Well, I've been sending every day. It's a habit now. I've set a reminder in my phone so I can keep sending, keep my streak going. I did miss a day because we had a Christmas party, and I was pretty upset. I'm like, damn it, I missed my streak, bro. I got to get back on this. So, yeah, I like the design. In terms of Mask, and then we'll head over to Daffy One. We've got some exciting stuff with their wallet to talk about today. But Mask, yeah, we're still in that build mode where we're finding the browser release, which actually I just got news yesterday from the dev meeting. It's pretty much ready. So we're hoping that'll be out this week with the newest update to the browser, which is turning Base live, so everyone can start using live Base chain on testnet. And just so everyone hears it first too, we're making Base the default chain as well. So all new users to Mask will come in and the default chain will be Base. A lot of our user experience, we've tried to abstract away all the difficult stuff that new users to crypto might find, having to choose chains, having to pick different options, having to get tokens from various places, and it's all sort of extra steps. We've taken a lot of those away. So now we want a real Base experience from the beginning, which is actually something we're shifting now with this next release. So also with the extension, which is almost there as well. We're hoping we're definitely on track for the end of the year. That's also going to onboard people who are new to Mask straight into Base. And for those who've been listening, we've got something that I don't see many projects doing, but we're launching a premium subscription model where actually the tokens itself are abstracted away from what the user needs to worry about as well. So the minute they subscribe and pay for premium features and stuff, the tokens airdropped into their through their subscription into their wallet on a regular basis. So they're just browsing, using Mask, getting the privacy, having the DVPN on, and getting all those privacy upgrades for their life, all with one simple thing. They don't have to worry about it. So that's big. We're getting all that ready.
How is that?
Yeah.
How is that working if they want to subscribe monthly? Can you guys do that now or no? Because we're thinking about doing that in Send. If I want to pay $4 a month, will it automatically take out of my account or no?
Yeah, man. So we did a bunch of due diligence around really like who is going to be offering that sort of Stripe for Web3. We found a really awesome team called BoomFi, so we're using them as their integration partner. I'll hook you up with the contacts, man, because basically that's what they do, right? You can go on, you can select as a merchant, you can select which currencies you want to accept and which chains you want to accept them on. And then when a user signs up, they don't even need to create a whole bunch of user personal details. They just like log in with their wallet and they say, yep, I'm going for this monthly subscription. And then it does a signature on their wallet, so it can only take that amount, and it takes it on a regular 30-day rolling. If you miss a payment, or let's say the wallet didn't have the funds in there, if you added an optional email address, it'll just notify you. Kind of like a gym membership, right? Like if you bounce your payment on a monthly subscription, they'll let you know. And then it's all easy. And they can turn on fiat for you too. So we're staying away from fiat for lots of reasons, just because we want to be pure native Web3, but we can accept blue chips like USDC, ETH, and users can pay on a regular basis. So it could be a great option for you guys at Send. I know the team there.
I think we're probably going to build that in-house, considering it's a wallet. We wouldn't have them pay with another wallet. We'll just do it themselves.
Yeah.
But I'm curious because I think subscriptions are going to start happening a lot.
Yeah.
On with in crypto.
Yeah, but that's a good point. I mean, you guys being a wallet app and a wallet ecosystem, you kind of want to have it on your own. But there's some pretty cool concepts that they've leaned into to make it work. So yeah, so we're pretty excited.
Coinbase was calling it Session Keys.
Yeah,
and I think they renamed it to something else.
Oh yeah, they're doing that with their SDK on-chain kit, right? They've got some sort of stuff with that as well for recurring payments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. But I mean, we're leaning into that too, and I think we're going to start connecting more with Coinbase and Base builders too, because like we know that we would like to, if we can, in parallel, offer native Base payment methods too, like that. So someone who's a Coinbase user, that's our end goal, is that hopefully we'll build up enough momentum and brand awareness that like someone coming into the Coinbase or Base ecosystem will see apps like Send, see apps like Mask, Daffy, whatever, right there in like the first sort of day or two that they're in the world, and start using us. So everyday stuff. So pretty exciting week for us. We're stoked. We're pushing hard, and we've got our cool little QA team that has been helping us refine all the stuff. So yeah, we're really excited to turn all that on. So that's going to be a game changer. And thanks for everyone joining. By the way, if you can, please like and share this space. There's a little button on the right, a blue or purple looking bubble. If you can click on that, it does help the algorithms. It spreads our message wide, and also gives us some good love from new members and new people wanting to join in, hear about us. So if you could do that, post the space link, that'd be awesome. But thanks for waiting, Daffy One. I'm not sure which one of the team we're speaking to today, but feel free to jump on, introduce yourself, let us know what you're building and why you enjoy being in Base ecosystem.
Yeah, no problem. So my name is Alex. I'm the partnership officer of Daffy One. Nice to meet you all, guys. GM, and hello from Italy. A little bit late for me, but hey, it's Web3, so what can you do? I guess we met on Spaces like DHub Spaces and Base a few weeks back. So thanks for the invite. Great to reconnect and share our project. We're Daffy One, building not just another crypto wallet, but rather a payment platform solution to empower enormous merchants. Actually, Daffy stands for Decentralized Autonomous Frictionless Finance Vehicles. So it's that intricate. Under the hood, yes, but it's simple to use, and we've been building it for 4 years almost. I joined the team half a year ago, and I was excited about the technology and the experience of people behind it. They're all very mature. It's not like a Degen play. Nothing is when it comes to that serious approach. So, long story short, we develop a crypto wallet, which will unify merchants globally. The idea was help you to interact with money seamlessly. Like you arrive somewhere, say in the Caribbean, there is no option to withdraw, to pay for taxi, nothing works, and you just have crypto on your account, and you can pay with the Daffy without any conversions. It's just one thing, not another trading or hot wallet. There's DID support, NFT support. The beauty of it, we have a super security. On most of the wallets, they have like unified seed phrase, all the blockchains they support. We have a unique seed phrase for each blockchain we support. It was 10 blockchains at the start of autumn, I guess. Now we're happy to announce we have 17 blockchains. I'm going to support maybe 50 by next Christmas. And yeah, we are aimed for the long play because we've been, as I said, developing for years slowly. You can see we only have 10,000 followers in our account on Twitter. Actually, the majority of these followers came just last 3 months as we actually started this marketing. But really, we didn't start it yet. It's like a low profile, touching the grass kind of thing. We're going to start it after Christmas. And it's great because you mentioned Apple and App Store, and we have a little issue with that. So our App Store version or iOS version is 100% ready. It was ready a month ago. You can now try out Daffy wallets by using Android, but I'm not sure since you're in the United States, do you guys have any Android at all? That's the problem. And we don't want to launch a full-scale marketing campaign without iOS. Thing is, we don't charge fees from the users, and Apple They don't believe we don't charge fees. So we have to encounter them. Well, send some legal stuff, notice, probably meet them in court. But our team is extensive, and we'll learn that there's like thousands of similar cases. Hopefully, it's going to be resolved within a month. Maybe not. Anyways, we're going to start heavily in January then. But we're going to start hard. We have a lot of partners lining up in terms of business development, co-marketing, all this stuff. It's figured out. So want to make it properly. The website you can see on our Twitter account is also about to be redesigned. So it's going to be a learning hub there. So we want not just to help get you the initial knowledge how to interact with crypto, but make you smart about it, right? We are about education, simplicity of use, and security. Those are three pillars we're standing on. So there's some features we not support yet, like on-ramp, payroll, transfer, card support. It's going to be launched after iOS version, hopefully in Q2. So the whole thing is to empower not just normies, but merchants, right? And there's a thing with merchants. They have a lot of trouble in emerging countries, right? So we are global. The team is decentralized from United States to Cyprus, where our CEO resides. Our CTO and founder is in Caribbean. Yeah, I'm in Italy. So we are about unified worlds, and we want to help people interact with money, not thinking about what's under the hood. Just drive the car and enjoy the ride. As simple as I can put it. Thank you.
Yeah, nice. Thanks for that. So I'm sure the audience has some questions like in the crowd and looking at new stuff. So they can try it now. It's live on, I think you got your extension live on the browser, right? And you've got an Android app ready?
No, just Android version for now. It's been ready for a month. You can try it out. There is a link, but you cannot try an iOS or obviously, yeah. Hopefully it's going to resolve before Christmas. If not, you can try it out in January. I'm going to make a lot of announcements. So we're live on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on TikTok, a lot of networks. Going to grasp it all.
Nice. Cool. Ethan and I talk a lot about, like sustaining development, right? So I know you said you don't charge any fees. Like it might be interesting for people or builders to learn a little more. Like how do you guys plan on, I guess, creating a revenue model that sustains your guys' development and gives more features to the users? Like, have you guys got plans for that? Or maybe that's on the merchant side?
Yes, Mask, you are right. It's on the merchant side mostly, but right. We don't want to charge usual fees, and we don't plan to make any kind of ICOs, fundraise. This thing has been bootstrapped from the start, and we're going to remain separate from the VCs, so nobody will pull the string, and we're gonna exist where you want to be. So Apple says not happy with our model, we're not gonna alter it. So we're gonna support our original vision. The founder has this vision 3 years back, and it's still the same. But the whole complexity is real life payments in connection to these vendors. There's a lot of them, and most of them they're out of Web3. Actual wallet application is not so hard to build. The hardest thing is, of course, to make it work when you have separate seed phrases, all this stuff. And we are very efficient at adding new blockchains. But adding new blockchains doesn't generate wallet downloads. That's mostly on my side. So I'm lining up a lot of partnerships, different sides, metaverse, payments, real-world applications, DeFi's. There are going to be dozens of announcements, I guess, because for now, we only had a few announcements during the last month, but we have been actively working, connecting to possible partners. Obviously, it's pretty hard because people think you're just another wallet and maybe not the biggest one. Maybe there are some issues, so you know how it goes. But we are doing our best. The tech team is quite extensive. Other team is in development stage. We're going to hire more people as we continue to set up a headquarter and extend. So it's live on Android. You can try it out. And great thing about it, we position ourselves in some regard as a home of memes. We love memes, we love meme coins, and there's a possibility to rebrand your personal wallet in any kind of meme you want. You love Pepe, you can make your wallet look like a House of Pepe, things like that. So there's a lot of personalization options available there.
Yeah, it sounds cool. You want to say something, Ethan?
Yeah, how do you guys plan on making money?
Yeah, that's the tricky part. I cannot reveal yet, but hopefully next time we're going to invite our CTO and founder. He's going to elaborate on that because I'm not at liberty to say at the moment.
That's all right. I'm sure you guys have some things where if it's going to be merchant side, then I'm assuming there's some kind of like, fees to go between people spending money and but honestly, that's you guys to decide. But I noticed there's a token. You got a Dafir reward token. So how does that integrate in there in that stack with the users and stuff? Like, is that live as well?
Thank you. Yeah, Dafir has been around for a while. It's pronounced D-A-F-F-I-R. So pretty much the same to Daffy. It's not your usual Shiller meme token and just simple that people can stake in their wallets. Yeah, there's going to be a staking option. So wallet holders, usual guys, merchants, both are going to get rewards in form of Dafir. And there's going to be a possibility to stake it to obviously get more rewards from that. We're going to introduce a staking model later. And obviously, I cannot say whether it's going to be like 10%, 20%, things like that. But yeah, it's going to generate you some small minor revenue on the side. Just maybe something for your coffee spendings, things like that. But it has been around for a while. It supports 5 chains for now. I'm going to add more support. We're not heavily promoting it yet. Just for instance, we're not planning to make it like a hype token. Yeah, the core functionality is the whole concept and what we're building at the wallet, not the Dafir. But yeah, it has a nice vibe to it because people love free money, right?
Yeah. So it's almost like a community or an ecosystem sort of token for different things in the wallet. No, that's cool. That's
Let me elaborate
good.
on that. It's the heart that beats the actual ecosystem, right? And we are massively focused to maintain its healthy organic growth, not to over-promote it, not skyrocketing within one day and dropping like the next one. It's omni-chain, and the goal is to support all 17 chains or even more. So it's 17 right now. It's going to be 20, hopefully in January, right? It's bigger blockchains. You all know those. Nothing like shady or minor. You can check it out on the website, and I can name those. So it will be able to use in the future purchases, or people able to convert to digital currencies through participating in exchanges, chains on Tier 1 centralized exchanges, and future DAXs. But we didn't have DAXs ready yet. Something brewing in the background. I guess something for Q2 to announce. So it was all started on Algorand, which is quite a niche blockchain. Algorand itself has deep roots in Italy. It's very efficient, fast. There's a lot of great builders there, although the whole chain is kind of small when compared to XRPL or Stellar, but I'm sure it's going to grow because it's a great community. It's not toxic. So we found a very great support there, a lot of partners, initial one that helped us to test it out, the whole system, the token. And now we're expanding other chains. So we are also developing a unifying portal that everyone can view where the tokens are located, owns them, including metrics, DXants, and other intel. And this portal will include all the chains. Regarding this rewards, the details going to be announced later. Yeah, I guess it's quite brief for now. So the total supply is only 20 mil, and it will never increase for any reason.
Man, you got a lot going on. So where do you see your guys positioning in base? Because I know, like you said, you don't want to be just another wallet. There's lots of wallet implementations out there, and it's a crowded space. Like, what do you think will make you stand out in the base ecosystem and have you guys prosper there? Because I mean, we're all talking about being in base. So like, how does that fit into your growth strategy?
Yeah, I still remember space. I used to work with stablecoins in DeFi before Daffy, and I was actually excited about base ecosystem. The very fact that it grows so fast, right? There's like XRP, XRPL, they're hyped up right now, last few months. But outside of it, you try to research the ecosystem. It's pretty hard to build there, right? To find proper projects or wallets or DAXs. When it comes to Base, not an issue. So the goal is to do proper business development, connect with partners, organic ones who are happy to support you, to bring you holders, wallet downloads, users. We're not about like marketing collaborations because, there's a lot of BD groups. People just retweet stuff there. That's it. Do some silly stuff maybe. And that's up. So it's not about the real adoption. And we want to this make properly like Web 2 way, right? Maybe a bit old-fashioned, but effective. Maybe not too fast, but organic. So we're gonna continue our research and Base, and of course, you gentlemen, if you wanna suggest something or recommend, or I don't know, bring out a partner, we're happy to chat, jump on a call and discuss this. So pretty much that's it.
Cool. Thanks for that, man. Yeah. No, there's lots going on. I mean, it's good to connect with other projects, see what's cooking in the space, and I might try out this wallet. I went to the Play Store and it does show DeFi1 on the Google Play Store, so I guess that's the device, that's the mobile app. Yeah, so I might have to try that out.
Try it out. Do let us know what you think. I mean, any feedback is appreciated. You want to have a call with us or with the founder. We're appreciative. We're open for feedback. So go ahead, man.
Yeah, sounds good.
How many daily active users do you guys have, and what are the people that are coming to the app? What are they doing right now?
Well, Ethan, right? So they're probably just testing out. We have just a few thousand wallet downloads and users, even less than that. When it comes to Defier, it's also a niche token. As I said, it started on Algorand. It doesn't have a lot of adoption yet. So not much, nothing to be like proud of, except the technology itself. Hopefully, if we reconnect in 3 months from now, yeah, I would be able to say, hey, yeah, we have a lot of great metrics. We achieved a lot, blah, blah, blah. Well, we'll see about that.
Yeah, talk about your tech then. What did it take for you guys to get here? How long have you been working on the wallet? What are some of the struggles that you went through? What are some of the wins that you experienced?
Okay, yes. I guess I can say more than I said already, since I'm not a tech person and I just have initial intel. But I'll say this. So years ago, they had a concept of crypto wallet that is truly secure, unless like Trust Wallet and MetaMask. Well, everything has loops, right? Nothing is too secure in crypto. So since the people come from Web 2 and traditional finance, and they have been in technology sector for, let's say, a few dozen of years. So they have this idea how to make things right, more secure. So there's been a lot of testings. And the hard thing, was to unify all these seed phrases, because if you have one seed phrase, it's okay. When you have separate seed phrases, there might be another attack vector. So how to make it work and make it more secure, efficient for the users. Next, as I said, it's not just the security, the hold and trade mentality. It's about more complex stuff. You haven't seen our blurb, and probably you haven't visited our website yet during this 30 minutes of call. So I say this. It supports AVM, non-AVM chains. It's non-custodial, right? It supports DID, or decentralized identifier. It will
What did you say? DI? What's DIDA? What did you say?
Decentralized identifier, right?
What's that?
Yeah, that's something about WIP 5, probably, right? Decentralized identity, this kind of thing.
Like it supports decentralized identity. What do you mean, like ENS? What do you?
In other words, yes.
Oh yeah, because I think a lot of chains are trying to do DID, and it's like you said, the key is to get adoption with partners where they would accept that, right? Because I mean, governments want to do their own DID, right? We already got that coming through after COVID with passports that are scanned and biometrics and all that, and so of course Web3, we want to have pseudo-anonymous ones that are zero knowledge, so the wrong people don't have your information unless you agree to share it. So it's interesting to see how you guys approach DID, because I know like lots of chains have different approaches or different tech stacks that they're doing. So have you guys got a preferred one that you've integrated so far, or are you just keeping it open for adoption for different ones?
I would say second version, yeah, they're open and they've been working with SumSub for now, comes to KYC and stuff. But
Yep.
it wasn't the most complex thing to do. An actual development of like multi-chain crypto wallet is not the hardest thing to do. It has 4 more components that's going to be released in Q2, and I mentioned them briefly. So there's on-ramp to onboard, offboard, right, users. There's a payroll section. There's transfer for merchants network, and there's going to be a DeFi card. So people will be able to utilize this efficiently throughout the world and sell sovereign accounts through virtual physical debit cards, merchants, ATMs. So that's the beauty of it. And it was so hard to combine this all because the whole team was like 10 people all this time, yeah. And we start to advance rapidly. We hired CEO 3 months ago, and you probably met him in Spaces too. It's pretty active. We're both active. We're in Spaces pretty much every day. You can hear us in different Base, other chains. But yeah, we are excited about Base because of the ecosystem we want to build. We want to gain adoption. When it comes to roadblocks, obviously, it's pretty much like a real challenge to find proper partners, not just about marketing, but could provide actual working plan, how to use the like this, or some guidance or some action plan to work in that. So last 3 months, we've been aligning partners, and some of them just in a waiting mode. Yes, this thing with iOS been dragging out for a month. Want to get resolved and have a proper start.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to get blocked. It's hard when you get blocked with where you want to attract your users, right? The problem with Apple and iOS is that anytime you're dealing with any micropayments or anything, they want to cut. And if they don't get a cut, then they're going to try and block you, in terms of especially crypto-based apps. So I have seen a lot of apps having problems, especially wallets getting on to iOS. If I can get back in touch with any other builders that I've got my network and saw how they got around it, I'll let you know. I'll pass on some details because some of them had those challenges too.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Because one thing you could do, like one thing I love about Send, is that it's a little bit more agnostic from, not agnostic, I should say, but like more abstracted from being in an app store, right? They released a progressive web app, PWA. So, a browser can host the framework of the wallet, and then it stores the credentials like locally in a secure vault, depending on your device, in the keychain or in, the secure chip vault. And it's all client side, device side. Obviously, that's not good if you lose your device, but that's why you do backup passkeys. That's what Send has done. So maybe if you guys keep getting stalled there, you could look at developing it as a progressive web app. Maybe you could share some stuff about that, Ethan.
Yeah. What are the reasons why you're getting stalled from the iOS App Store? They're giving you pushback.
That's right.
What's the reason they're giving?
Like, they don't believe us that we don't charge fees. Like, it's not possible, in their opinion.
Charge fees for what? For transfers, for swapping, or what?
Yeah, for pretty much everything.
Wow.
So you guys pay the fees?
No. I mean, that's the problem. They think that if there's a crypto wallet, it should involve kind of a fee system, right, in place. Otherwise, how can it exist?
Yeah, that's weird because I mean, obviously the gas is the fee, but it's a blockchain fee. So it's weird that they won't believe you that you're charging fees. But I suppose maybe they're just taking a very closed, a narrow look at what you guys are launching, and it's interesting. But hopefully you'll get past it.
It's not a unique problem. Sorry, I mean that's been around for like years, since I learned from other speakers and others like spaces and real life meetings. There's like 1,000 cases, not pretty much like this, but similar to this. So yeah, not alone, and we're gonna resolve that. Look, like past 40 days, we made some real progress. We bought real life companies with licensed, right? We created SEN partnerships. We added XRPL, Bitcoin networks, XLM, Stellar, Litecoin, BSH, with the no bells and whistles remaining fully focused on global adoption with our payment system. While we are developing the next part of it, the most important one, we want to actually release the wallet and start marketing. So I'm wondering about your experience, Ethan, right? Because I've never seen Send before, and pretty much amazing. I mean, you guys are doing some great business out there, because I've seen thousands, probably hundreds companies on Twitter, like, and interact with spaces on a daily basis, but somehow I missed you guys.
Yeah, sucks. Sorry to hear that you missed us, man. We're trying to get out there, but yeah, we currently have close to 2,000 daily active users. We're a progressive web app. We don't plan on getting into the App Store anytime soon. Maybe next year, but honestly, I don't see the use for it. We've been kind of and I think people will fight me on this, especially people within the team, the core team, the devs. But you know, the app works like an app. When you add it to your home screen, which anybody that's on here, if you don't have the app added to your home screen, if you're on Google or if you're on iOS, add it to your home screen so it'll act like a real app. And so the future, what does it look like, right? And I wonder how, it's like, so Farcaster's doing this, right? Farcaster has frames, or Warpcast has frames where you can, if you've seen the frames, you can interact with Warpcast through the frames, right? So they have games that you can play, or you can launch a token. I'm wondering, or eventually you're going to be able to do anything on that, right? You pay for games, or you pay for stuff. So that's taking revenue from the App Store, right? Because you're building apps inside of Farcaster, right? Instead of building apps in the App Store. So we're gonna do the same thing, where you have this wallet, right? Or you have this app, which is Send. And then apps are building on top of our payment, right? Our payment rails, right? And our API. So, what is, like, I don't know. I'm just wondering, like, how is Apple gonna be towards that? Are they gonna let Farcaster continue to do that? Or, like, I don't know if Rainbow seems one of the more progressive wallets to me. So does Rainbow have apps within the wallet? Of course, there's Wallet Connect, but I'm wondering how Apple feels about that.
Well, they obviously don't like it. I mean, that's why they're probably making it hard for wallets, like, especially even with Daffy One saying they're getting stalled. But you look at Solana's done similar. Have you seen Blink? Solana Blink?
Yeah,
Well,
I've seen
basically,
Blink.
it's like
Yeah.
frames.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
There's
they're trying to do all of that to
there's-
keep it in their system.
There's a project on Solana right now called Send that is infringing on my trademark, and I've been. Yeah, bro, they're freaking, and they're like, the dude. So I hit up the
They
dude.
picked the wrong guy to fuck with. They picked the
And
wrong Ethan to fuck with.
He's like, we understand this. What if we did like Send Coin? And I'm like, the problem with coin is coin are tokens, and tokens are crypto. I don't know, man. And then they got this whole Send AI and Send Gaming, and it's like, bro, we have that on our roadmap. We've been working on this for a while, which is like 5 months. But, like, dude, I've been working on this for over 2 years, for actually 2 years now, 2.5 years. I've been kind of watching this Send brand. In February of 2025, it'll be 3 years that we started Send Nodes. So this is something, I've been watching that Send trademark that was previously owned by Silvergate Bank. And I've hit up X to get them to take it down. But, it's like when trademark, it's like, how far do you want to take it? It's like, fuck. It's like this. It's like, so look at Solana, right? Solana's doing this AI like hackathon, right? So they have Solana AI hackathon, right? So this other company now takes Send AI, but, like, that's not Send AI's mine, because I'm Send. We're the Send of crypto. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just weird, but I'm gonna keep pushing, and I'm gonna keep pushing harder.
Yeah, it's a challenging area. You got to protect your brand, for sure. But I see what you're saying too. Like these App Store like device side app store ecosystems, they don't like things being built outside it, especially where they're losing that cut. And it's going to be a constant pushback against Web3 anyway, because Web3 is supposed to be decentralized, right? Without gatekeepers. That's why we're building all this other stuff. That's why Mask is building, our privacy network. So you can't get geo-blocked just because your country doesn't like, a specific company or a specific platform being all open to everyone. Like, Russia and Ukraine users are using Mask right now to get access to Twitter regularly, like to listen into the space, like that's why it exists. So yeah, I mean, if you can build outside the app stores and have users get it on their devices, that's probably a good way to try and do it as well.
What do we think also? Here's another thought that I was thinking about. So, everybody's like, okay, so we're building this decentralized future, right? Now, you have this problem where you have to, you go through Google or you go through Apple to get your app out into the world, right? Or, and that's the Google, Google Play Store or iOS App Store. And then to get a browser going, you have to go through the Chrome store. How do we feel about that? Browsers all run through Chrome. What do we think about that in regards to decentralization? Is that a problem? Is it not really a big deal?
Well, it's absolutely a problem. I mean, I've got a strong opinion about that being the fact that we've had to build a browser to have control to allow the features and privacy things to be implemented. Otherwise, you just end up with all of Google's Chrome, Google's bloatware and all the crap. So, I mean, you might be seeing some of that unfold. There's an anti-monopolistic, court proceeding now where they're trying to ask Chrome to spin off from Google. And they're saying you have an unfair monopoly over the whole browser space of the entire world. You need to spin off Chrome as its own company and its own entity outside of Google. Because they basically, look at the stack they've got. They've vertically integrated everything. They have the browser stack, they have the ad stack, they have the search stack, they have the AI stack, they have the Play Store stack, the Android stack. It's like they almost control everything.
The email stack, so the work stack, right?
Bro, exactly. So they know everything about you, and this is how they've become a monopoly, because they can harvest that data and basically pinpoint selling avenues for every single user in the world, no matter who they are. And so there is going to be a constant battle for us as builders, trying to steer away from that, like basically navigate away from the moat that they've got. And we'll see how that progresses, right? Like, we're all small fries. We're little corks in the ocean, floating around trying to attract our people, to use us. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. But I think it's good for browsers, though. It shows that, there will be space for new technology, but it's hard. Like, when Chrome, you look at Chrome, they've got over 50% of the browser users of the world use Chrome. Just vanilla Chrome. I mean, that's massive.
Yeah. So what about and you could take a step further than we've done, right? We could go like IPFS, right? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, that's basically taken away the power of the cloud providers who have all the massive storage data centers around the world, right? So you can have files, and that's what we purposely integrated into Mask, by the way, that we want the rails into all the decentralized parts of Web3. So storage, communication, browsing, and DeFi, right? That's kind of like the stack that's going to make the world of Web3 work. And if you can't have storage, how do you share files? How do you host your meta? How do you show images? How do you do anything? So yeah, IPFS is pretty key. And they've got that all set up. But then you've got payments, right? Like, if you want to host something, or you want to send something of value to someone, you have to pay. And that's where crypto comes in. And that's why SendApp and Daffy are types of things that you need every day, right?
I think we're gonna stay off of the app stores for now. I think I'm not gonna rush that too much. I think we're gonna roll out the Send and the SendPay, and we're gonna have apps start to build on top of Send before we even launch the app store. Because I don't know, I wonder how heavy of a lift that is. But I also wonder about, like, where's the world heading? Is it heading? There was a time where it was like, everybody was talking about progressive web apps, and I think they're growing. I think people are using progressive web apps more. Friendtech had a progressive web app, not a very good one, but it did have a progressive web app. So I wonder, where this thing is going. Where it will be in like talking like 2040, right? 15 years from now, what will the world app store look like?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's almost like you're running decentralized front ends, right? And that's been a thing that's sort of hovering in the background for a while. Where you look at IPFS, you can host a lot of your assets or whatever storage stuff you need and access it from anywhere, So if you've got a decentralized front end that's also hosted up there, like for example, Handshake, one of the partners with Mask, is a decentralized name service, meaning like even if all the domain hosting services and ICANN, who controls all the domains, if they said, "Oh, we don't like Uniswap anymore," and they tried to block their domains and delist their domains and basically cancel them, you can still host your domain on Handshake, which is a blockchain designed to do so, forked from Bitcoin, and so it's uncensorable. So like if you can't censor someone's website and their front end, then anyone can use it. So like you've got a good approach with Send in terms of making it a PWA, right? Because now you don't have to pass through all the gatekeepers to get on an app store. It's a little more for a user to do because people like convenience, and app stores are convenient. But I think that's why Solana tried to do their phone thing. They wanted to try and see if they could make their own little moat there with not being on a particular, monopoly company. But I mean, isn't their phone run by Android? I'm not sure. I think it probably is still open source Android, which is still a Google sort of spinoff. I don't think they went Graphene OS, but who knows? Maybe someone in the crowd knows. But yeah, the future of apps is definitely going to be an interesting space to watch, especially where it comes to payments.
What does Daffy Wallet think?
Guys, I think that Sand has a catchy name. That's why I encountered these issues. I mean, I had this problem with my previous work, yeah. So people trying to steal your name if it's catchy, they're gonna hunt you, and there's a legal battle. So yeah, I'm familiar. When it comes to front ends and crypto wallets, well, it's my first crypto wallet I'm working with, but that's the case. I mean, I've seen them all. I made a lot of collabs from decentralized finance standpoint, from stablecoin standpoint, with the different wallets. So I met a lot of people, seen their views on the industry, and most of them are there just to make a minor profit from the user, or because they don't want anything else to do. They don't have great ideas, so they just built like a simple wallet, maybe a cool branding, maybe some like interesting marketing out there, and that's it. And their ideas like go south from there. I met a lot of those. So when I met Daffy One team, well, yeah, that was different. People not degens. They're smart, they have experience, and it's more about like Web 2 approach to Web 3, or if we take DIDs into account, it's probably what, Web 5? Much interesting. It's very hard to predict what we're going to encounter in terms of user interface in 15 years. Maybe in just 5 years, going to have like Neuralink, all this stuff. So App Store is going to evolve, or if you call that evolution. Anyways, monopoly is bad, and we didn't have any other choice than to beat the monopoly because we want 100% coverage. If we go now with full-scale marketing with just Android, we're going to kill ourselves, right? So we're going to go and have this uphill battle. Hopefully we're going to win, and we're going to win fast.
Yeah, and you talked about the founders being from Web 2, right? They're not really Web 3, right?
They're both Web3 now. I mean, you can check them on Twitter. Avis, for example, is very active on Twitter. It speaks with me and Mark. They are both on websites, so you can check them out. That's right. I'm pretty sure we're going to bring Avis to our next spaces, so it's going to be interesting because he's been in technology sector for like 30 years.
Yeah, I was looking at your website. I mean, you've got some good executive team there. I swear I know the name from somewhere. The consultant you've got, Chris Donachi, because I think he used to did some work in New Zealand. Where I live, New Zealand was one of the first countries to really adopt FPOS, which is the electronic payment with cards, right? You know, like the swipe and go, and it's often small modernized countries often become the testing bed for new types of apps and stuff. But I think looking at your website, you have a big focus on the UK and the EU, right? I mean, a lot of your team sort of has experience there. Do you feel like that's where you'll target a lot of user adoption early on, or are you going to just go for the global marketing overall?
So that's the minor issue with the current website. It's outdated. We're going to introduce a new version, and we're want I guess in January, right? So we are global. We want to target the whole world, not just UK. I mean, primary experience might be in US and UK, but we're going to target emerging countries, Africa, Latin America, Asia. We covered all. So yeah, it's actually way too simplistic, but this website has been around for last 3 years. It's going to change. What Avis and what we emphasize that next 6 months, we're going to do branding, most of it. So there's going to be a lot of great things coming down this way. And you might notice there are not all the socials through the website, and we have 7 social networks right now. So it's being developed right now. For example, take Twitter. We start with 1,000 followers on September, right? That's it. Now we have more, and it's organic, and we're having spaces every day. It's trying to raise awareness on that.
Yeah, it's the way, man. Spaces are the untapped. Really, it's a great medium to talk and connect. You know, that's why me and Ethan and Send doing these regularly. You try and keep it going as long as we can because we're getting, some good traction, but also some good guests, and future partners, hopefully. So if anyone in the crowd, you want to see your favorite project and base, join in on their next episode for next week. Feel free to comment now and in the on the space. Tap that little purple bubble in the bottom right, add a comment of someone you want to see. Could be anything. Could be maybe a game that you really like in base or NFT collection, artists, all sorts of projects, AI, whatever. We'll check it out. But lots cooking now. Definitely a big end to the year, hopefully for everyone. And the markets are in our favor right now, really heating up. Lots of attention. Things are getting serious when your neighbors start asking, like, "Oh, hey, are you still into crypto? Like, I see Bitcoin's getting really big." Retail's right behind them. Oh, I don't know. Raise your hand in the audience if you've had that. Random friends and family asking about crypto. I mean, hey, that's a sign, isn't it?
100%, yeah. And just to probably finalize this, right, because there's going to be an hour session and time flies fast, I want to bring some numbers in. So we also have some articles on our Medium, right? And we've been just checking out some stuff regarding small businesses or SMEs. In the Eurozone, where I'm from, only 52% of small businesses currently accept online payments, while in North America, it's 80 or 85%, right? And there's quite a gap. So there's a lot of unbanked people, probably 1.5 billion globally, remain banked, predominantly in developing countries like Africa, South Asia, Latin America. And this exclusion isn't due to a lack of demand, but rather the high cost, complex regulation, lack of infrastructure, that inhibit accessibility. I want to change that. Want to go global, want to replace MetaMask to some extent. I'm not being overly dramatic to say we're going to kill it, no, but I want to give another great option for people who value security, privacy, and more great functions. Because MetaMask, yeah, we all use it. It's great, but it has a lot of restrictions, roadblocks. Well, we're going to do something better.
Oh, cool, man. I'm here for that. I don't like MetaMask. 2 years ago, I told myself I'm going to stop using it for good, and I did. I obviously have a more advanced set of needs as a user because I'm like I do more advanced stuff. But like, yeah, MetaMask doesn't facilitate a lot. So it's great to see a lot of new options out there, and some wallets that like you guys are catering to merchants and different ecosystem as well, but also where wallets can also specialize for different needs too. I see a lot of really cool stuff, and of course, you got that's Send here. It's like a peer-to-peer, like tip your friends. Send is for sending, right? And I'm just waiting to see gigs blow up, man, and Send Swap. Tell me when that's coming, Ethan. Can I see that before the end of the year, or am I pulling teeth here?
No, definitely not. Definitely not before the end of the year. We got the new token. We're doing swaps, but gigs is going to be probably quarter one. Actually, quarter one maybe of next year. I don't. But I don't know. Yeah, quarter one of next year.
You do?
That's all good, man. Hey, good things take time, right? I'm just excited because I think that's a game changer, bro. There's like Web3 job platforms, all the ones I've tried to use even for our recruiting of different things in the team for Mask, have all been kind of crappy experiences. So I'd love to see, gigs blow up and become like the Fiverr or the Upwork of Web3.
Yeah, Stu had a good, about roadmaps and stuff like that. I don't know what Daffy thinks about this, but roadmaps are stupid. Don't ever tell people what you have planned, because then they're just going to hold it to you, and they're going to tell you 3 months later, why didn't you do this, and this? Because plans always change. They always change. So don't ever give a roadmap. Yeah.
Bro, I tell you, man, it's day one. That's what we've done. You don't see one on our
100% even,
website.
yeah.
Yeah, you have to keep some stuff.
You are right. We don't have a roadmap. Sorry, my my connection's been laggy. So
No, you're good. Go ahead, man.
yeah, we don't have a roadmap. We don't plan to have one because, as management puts it, it's better to under promise, over deliver. So yeah, this is our way.
Yeah. Now we've always tried to do that too, man. And you're right. Like when you have a roadmap and things change, people tend to like say, "Oh, wait, what about this?" So it's better to exactly under promise, over deliver, surprise the people with what they want and what they need. Mostly what they need. Because you got to stick to the core of what you're doing, right? But also, you see a lot of projects pivoting all the time, right? So they might have a roadmap, then they add in something that's hot. And what they don't realize is they're diluting their core values, right? If you see projects switching to AI that have been around for 3 to 5 years and they're rebranding just for AI, personally, I think that's a bit of a flag. I don't think that's always good, because what happens if that narrative dies down? Well, they've just spent all this time on it, So I think you're right, Ethan. No roadmaps, no hard roadmaps, at least. Like you can indicate what's coming, but yeah, and don't give dates. Crypto moves at the speed of light, right? Try not to give dates. I mean, unless you know for a fact that's ready. So it's a tough one. It's a tough juggle, though. Yeah. Cool. Well, no, we'll wrap up here on the hour, which is great. Thanks for everyone joining. This is the 3rd episode. It's been good. It's been growing each time. I think last time we had about 250 listeners total, or it might have been more. People listen to recording. So if you're listening now, please follow all of our socials and all the great project links in here. If you want to, before you forget to, Daffy, drop your links in a comment here so people can find out about you and your website. But yeah, follow us, subscribe to our channel so you can hear the next one same time next week. And yeah, are we going to do one before New Year's as well, Ethan? What do you think?
Yeah, let's keep them going, bro. We're going to keep them running.
Yeah, man, and we'll get some more guests here.
You know what I want to do is I'm gonna go in your DMs and we're gonna start structuring this a little bit better. So what we'll do is I'll start finding projects, because I know your marketing guys has been fine. I'll start finding projects, and we'll have if it's an hour, we'll do the first 15 minutes is this, maybe 7.5 minutes Mask update, 7.5 minutes Send update. The next 15 minutes is the project, and then we just have it structured to where we're talking about I don't know. Well, more structure.
Yeah, I agree, man. No, I've got a little bit of a start on that too, but yeah, and then we might, be getting 2 guests on here that can then talk about what they're building too, and get a lot more busy. But you have fun on your Sunday with the kids, man. It's supposed to be family day today, hey?
Is it? No, it's Monday.
Oh, you're in Monday now. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm on Monday. It's not Sunday. Yesterday was Sunday.
Sunday. Oh, that's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm getting confused.
All
Yeah,
right,
man. Well, thanks everybody for showing up, and good times, good times. We're going to go to the next one, get some guests, some great guests. But thanks again, Daffy, for your input and for sharing your story. And we look forward to seeing some awesome things, of course, by end of the year in Q1. So good luck with all that as well.
Thanks a million, Jens. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
Send it.
everyone. Send it. Mask it.
Have a nice day.
See ya.
Mask it.
See you, everyone.